Like many socio-cultural groups in Nigeria's south, the Middle Belt Forum has been demanding power shift in 2023 in the interest of equity and justice. But the recurring theme amongst the groups is their inability to constructively engage with their northern counterparts to agree on presidential zoning ahead of the next elections. To discuss this and tell us what this group and others are doing to engage power brokers and other critical stakeholders of northern extraction to buy into the clamor for power shift. We're now being joined by Dr. Bitrus Pogu, National President of the Middle Belt Forum. Welcome to the show, Dr. Pogu, and good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Thank you for honoring our invitation. Very quickly, I thought I read about you in the papers yesterday that you led a delegation, a group called National Reorientation Movement, to visit the governor of Ondo State. And it was after that meeting, or at that meeting, that the governor of Ondo State, who doubles as chairman of the Southern Governors Forum, made the point that any political party that feels a northern candidate should forget it, will lose the election. And of course, the Northern Elders Forum, speaking through Dr. Hakim Baba Ahmed, has already responded to that. So it looks like the group you led to meet with Governor Akeredolu triggered this latest conversation. What exactly transpired at that meeting, and what were your resolutions at that meeting?
Thank you very much. We visited the governor of Ondo State, the man who prefers to be called Mr. Governor, who doesn't want to use issues or prefaces like Your Excellency or Executive Governor, etc., who is also the chairman of the Southern Governors Forum, to tell him that we started a movement. And that movement started at Oka when we did two things. One, to declare our support for the emergence by 2023 of Southern president, so that the rotation principle established in this country would be adhered to. And we believe that would address so many of our problems. At the Oka meeting, we also decided that we should launch a program that would sensitize the youth of this country, called the 40 million ballot movement, so that the youth who constitute majority in our voting population would key into this new development that would transform Nigeria, not based on the primordial sentiments which we now hold on to. And then after that, we told Mr. Governor that we met, that is the socio-cultural groups of Ahaneze Ndibo, Pan-Niger Delta Forum, Afenifere and the Middle Belt Forum at Abuja on the 13th of last month, and we also endorsed that same position that we would want to see the emergence of a president by 2023 of Southern extraction, and went further to say that if any political party decides to field a governor of Northern extraction, we will campaign against such political party. And the political party should know that we are determined in that. And we went to show solidarity and to tell him that's our position, and that he may, as the president or chairman of the Southern Governors Forum, convey the message to his colleagues that we support the emergence of a president of Southern extraction. We know we have so many competent people in the South who can transform Nigeria, who can stop all this insurgency, who can transform the economic misdeeds which we are now suffering from, spending up to 85% of our earnings just to service debts and turn Nigeria around for the better for all Nigerians. And that's what we stand for, that's what we told him, and he responded accordingly.
Right, I have two questions. First, did you issue any threats? Because I've also read the statement by Governor Akeredolu, and I don't see any threats there. However, the Arewa Consultative Forum is responding to a threat, saying that the South cannot threaten their way into power, essentially. How is a call for Southern presidency, for the reasons that you just espoused, being construed as a threat? That was my first question. My second question is that I'd like you to tell us more about your 40 million ballot movement.
Thank you very much. If demanding for what is right, what is expedient, what even the North should have preferred over those of them calling for continuation of Northern presidency. If they call that a threat, then it's unfortunate, because we have done this in the past. It worked for Nigeria. Just because of Nadeco, we not only in 99 had Southern president, but we had president from both political parties, that is the major parties, from the Yoruba extraction. That was micro-zoned to the southwest. So the issue here is it's not a new thing. At least it allows for stability. And those of us in the Middle Belt who see the Northern presidency now as a presidency full of sentiments, full of nepotism, and people who call the insurgents as our boys, and therefore to us being treated as our boys rather than as people who are a menace to society, and therefore allowing them to continue to operate and perpetuate evil on this country. We feel that should be discontinued. We feel the people in Arewa Consultative Forum who are still holding on to the belief that the North should continue holding the presidency by 2023 should have a rethink. Any sane person seeing the kind of situation we find ourselves would say, look, let's give somebody else or another region a try. And we feel rightly that it should go to the South. And that's not even our making. It is there. It's an agreement that all the major political parties have entered into, and we feel it is good for Nigeria now. Let the our boys syndrome disappear. Let's get our bushes cleared of these bandits. Let the economy start to run normally. Let Nigeria become a nation rather than pockets of nations. And that's what we feel, and therefore there isn't any threat in demanding what is right, what is good, and what is needed at this point. Then coming to the 40 million ballot movement, we've discovered so many youth don't care to even register to vote at all. And they constitute a large chunk of the voters in the country. In fact, many of the elders don't even care. It is the youth and women who normally vote. And the 40 million ballot movement is premised on the fact that we don't need more than half of that number to choose a president in this country, going by the statistics of elections in the past. So, by launching that and allowing the youth from the North, from the South, to key in, because many of them are victims of the insurgency that we are suffering from, the terrorism that we are suffering from. And they would key in for better Nigeria. And such numbers who would key into the project will be the people to vote in the next president. We are not talking of APC or PDP or any other party here. We are talking of Nigeria. And it doesn't matter whether the youth is a PDP member or an APC member. All we are saying is if you want a better Nigeria and you want the right president to be voted into office, key into this project and let's transform Nigeria. That's what it means.
Okay, Dr. Pogu, One of the things that the Northern Elders Forum said is that it amounts to sheer arrogance for any group in any part of Nigeria to claim that it can dictate where the next president should come from. And that to say that a Northerner cannot be president in 2023 will be an erosion of the fundamental human rights of all persons who are eligible from the North. And that's perhaps why you have already a long list of Northern aspirants who are consulting in the People's Democratic Party. Second, on the PDP side, the argument has been put forward by Senator Kwankwanso and also by the governor of Bauchi State that indeed the South has spent more time in the presidency on the platform of the PDP, 14 years, as opposed to Northerners spending just about 2 years of President Yar'Adua. And if we are talking about the North generally, okay, you had 8 years of President Buhari, then that will be 10 for the North, and that the South has had a longer time in that villa. Do you agree with such rationalizations?
Anybody who wants something to favor him would always put an argument in his favor. And that's exactly what they are doing. To question God by saying Goodluck Jonathan's period completing Yar'Adua's is a southern period. I think it's just to say God has no right to take a life or allow someone to live. It's unfortunate that we have people who think that way. Those of us who are advocating for the presidency to move to the South feel now we have had 8 years of presidency in the North and it has not augured well for Nigeria. Two, that there is this gentlemanly arrangement that the presidency should rotate from the North to the South to the North for now. And we feel that it is only proper that we do this to address many of the problems we are facing. You see, for those people to continue saying, hey, we need the right candidate. Right candidate is determined by who has a big pocket. That is how Nigeria is viewed today. Right candidate has to do with people who can make the greatest noise. Right candidate has to do with some known names. If you don't belong, you don't belong. We are saying that is wrong. We are saying that right candidate who can do the job, not who has a big pocket. We are saying the right candidate can come from the South and can change things for Nigeria. Because today, we know that the insurgents, the terrorists are being given soft landing. Terrorists who have been killing innocent people to be forgiven and kept in areas. Soldiers are kept just to keep watch over villages rather than to constitute an army that goes after terrorists whose locations are known to government. Now, this, our boys syndrome of the North, many of us feel should stop. And one of the solutions, apart from the fact that there is this arrangement for power rotation, is to have a southern president who will deal with the problem as a Nigerian problem, not our boys' problem, so that we can all be better for it. Yes, they can create votes and generate votes. Like in 2019, when Borno, in spite of all the insurgency, had more votes than Lagos State with all its population. When Yobe had more votes than those accredited, and yet all accepted. If that is how the North feels that it can dominate and perpetuate itself, let's wait whether that kind of technique is good for Nigeria, for future generations. We are sitting on a time bomb. Let them not think they can now be bossing others around. If there are threats, it is the North that is issuing threats. Maybe they are not used to being challenged That's why they now see statements like those made by the governor of Ondo, chairman of the Southern Governors Forum, as a threat. As far as I'm concerned, that is a demand which is legitimate, and the South deserves to make such legitimate demands. And there are so many people in the North who feel this thing has to move to the South, and if by saying it has to move is also a threat, it is up to them. But we are saying what is right, and what is bad by all means is bad. Whether you try to embellish it in whichever way, it remains bad. What is good remains good. So we made that statement. We are going to support the movement. We will even talk them into it. But we have started on a good footing. We first started with those who we want the thing to move to. We will engage the Northern Elders Forum in due course and tell them, and I believe many of them do know in the depth of their hearts that, yes, it's good to do the needful for the betterment of Nigeria, not for the selfish needs of some individuals who use insurgency for political reasons, deceiving boys in the bushes that they are fighting jihad. Well, it is a lie. Nobody is fighting jihad out there. It's a political game of dislocation and for political benefits. So Nigeria has to change for better, and let's have a Southern president by 2023, and let Nigeria see how Nigeria will be transformed into a better country for all of us, not for Northerners or for any other person. Thank you.
Right, Doctor, but whether we're talking about a Southern candidate or a Northern candidate, the Constitution in Section 133 has a specific requirement for geographical spread of yes votes over no votes. For somebody to be declared president in Nigeria, they must have attained at least a quarter of the votes in 2/3 of the states in this country and the FCT. So we do need to work together. We need unity at this point. What would you suggest, while you're making your demands, as is your right to do, to sort of douse the tension that's building so that we can work together, both halves of the country that make us a whole?
Yes, that's a very good thing, and it is the right thing, because that's a constitutional issue which we have to adhere to. Nobody is stopping someone from Borno, Sokoto, Zamfara from voting a Southern candidate, unless if you would go and put a gun on their head and say, vote this way or that way. An ordinary Hausa man in Zamfara knows the pain he is going through, and many of such people will not vote for a Northern candidate. There was something trending, even in Zaria here, Kaduna State, where youth were there protesting over the poster of Mr. President. You mean such a people or such youth would prefer someone from the North to perpetuate these things happening to them? Of course not. Nigerians will vote according to their conscience, and I believe that is going to be achieved. You are not going to put a gun on people's head to vote in one way or the other. There are people, genuine Nigerians, who are tired with what is happening, and they want change. They want not the kind of change we got in 2015 that landed us where we are today. Before 2015, there was this propaganda that Jonathan was sponsoring terrorism against the North. Today, everybody knows it wasn't Jonathan. It was the North doing all these things against itself. True Northerners will vote the right way. However, what we are saying is, yes, we will dialogue, we will engage to ensure that, yes, we get a united Nigeria. Because by what we are doing, we are uniting Nigeria, not dividing them. We are not dividing Nigerians. And we beg those people who are dividing Nigeria, saying it is us, to put things right and say it is Nigeria and not it is North. Thank you very much.
Well, Dr. Pogu, just one last question from me. I mean, you're talking about president must come from the South, president must come from the South, and, you know, your platform is the Middle Belt Forum. Why are you not making a case for someone from the Middle Belt? Why the South? Or do you share the view of some people that the Middle Belt is part of the North?
Thank you. We are true Nigerians. We are the people who hold Nigeria together, holding the South with the North. And we want things to work. That is what will benefit us. We have a lot of people in IDPs displaced from their ancestral homes, and we feel when Nigeria works well for all Nigerians, we are the better for it. We will not say we have to have it our own way. We made a declaration before. If the South is not prepared, we will go for it. We made that declaration some months back in 2021. But we are saying the right thing to do, going by the arrangements we have, moving the presidency from the North to the South and South to the North, should be adhered to for now so that we resolve our problems. We would certainly in future reconsider this type of arrangement. Maybe in future we'll start rotating along geopolitical zones, something which is not in the Constitution, but which we use for our political consideration. And maybe very soon Nigeria will be so stabilized, will not have all these fault lines along religious and tribal lines, and then we can say, any qualified Nigeria, let him come on the seat. And then all this nepotism, all these our boys in the bushes would stop, and we'll have a better Nigeria. So we will graduate from where we are to the next level. The important thing is, let's get it right now. Let's have it in the South. Let's move forward. Sooner or later, it will come to the Middle Belt. It will come back to the North. You see, the issue about Nigeria is we found ourselves where we are because the British introduced these things and foisted it on us through indirect rule, etc., etc. When even they had the Billings Commission, which submitted its report in 1958, the Middle Belt region was never created. The region for the South was never created. Only in 1963 that Midwest was carved out of the Southwest, not because they wanted to create something for the Southern minorities, but just to dwindle and weaken the power of the Southwest. Look, this Nigeria we are in is distorted. We want things to be made right. We want the restructuring which the military started, which has become so lopsided, like creating Katsina out of Kaduna, and with Katsina of less than or so 1/3 of the population, given 34 local governments, Kaduna left with 22, and so many distortions done by the military. We need to correct these things, but it is gradual, and we believe restructuring is the way forward, and we believe we should have a Southern president for now to right the wrongs. At least let's have peace, let's have economic growth. Then from there we can be restructuring to get the perfect Nigeria we deserve. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Bitrus Pogu, for your insights and for joining us on the morning show today. Thank you indeed.